break, he will talk about standing strong as a parent. And I don't know how he does all this, but I read it's pretty amazing to me. I know it's amazing to you too. Okay, so here, Dr. Ray.
Laura, you know how I do all that? I made it up. I have done a boatload of talks. I have never, ever had a backdrop like this. I'm trying to capture it on my cell phone to send to my wife. Can't do it. If I'd have known this is where we were going to be, I would have tried, Laura, I would have tried to get Randy to come and at least spend a few days here. This is spectacular. I'll probably be the low spot of your week. The part about the 10 kids is true. And that's kind of like why I'm here. It's quieter here and it smells better. Our house is kind of like a frat house. Nobody sleeps. Everything's broken and there's a lot of throwing up. People find out I got 10 kids, I always get this. All right, now that you've got your own kids, what have you learned? I learned something very critical. I don't take them out in public. You take them out in public, invariably they're going to pull some stunt. Embarrasses the heck out of you. People know you're a shrink, it's worse. Because you can almost hear them thinking out loud. Yeah, let's just see what Mr. Psycho Man does about this one. But I figure it this way, we got our vengeance. First 9, 10 years of life out in public, they embarrass us. After that, Pop, you embarrass them. Oh man, come on, Dad, don't wear the pants with the feathers. Dad, don't wave at me when people are looking right at us. And I'm not going to pull your finger. Being in these halls reminded me when I played football. I'm going through the hall and there's like hundreds of these little bodies coming at me. Guy walking along the beach, kicks up a lamp. Genie comes out. I have great powers. I can give you anything you want. My condition, it be a valuable wish. So I says, okay. I think I would like a bridge built from the coast of California to the Hawaii Mountains. Toll bridge. I'll be a millionaire overnight. Genie says, that's disgusting. That's what you call valuable? No, no. First of all, even if I could do it, it's almost impossible. You gotta drive the pylons down. How far down you gotta go? 2 miles? Ecologically a disaster. Turn you into a greedy human being. No, no, not gonna do it, even if I could. But I'll tell you what, I'll give you a second chance. The guy says, well, my wife says I don't understand her. My wife says that I need to be able to read her love language and to pick up her nonverbal cues and to understand how she thinks. That's what I want. I want to understand women. Jeannie says, do you want that bridge 2-lane or 4? Adam and Eve in the garden. Adam's all by himself. He says, I'm lonely. God says, well, look, I got Eve here for you. When you spend time with Eve, see what you think. I'll be back to check up on you. Comes back a week later. God says to Adam, what do you think? She's beautiful. I can't take my eyes off her. She's just absolutely stunning. Why did you make her like this? So you'd love her better. Oh yeah, that's right. You're God. You think of these things. God says, is there anything else? I gotta go. Adam says, well, yeah, she's so sweet. Her disposition is so just gentle and sweet. Why'd you make her like that? I said, so you'd love her better. Adam goes, oh, yeah, that's right, you're God. You make everything that way. God says, look, I gotta go. Anything else? Adam goes, yeah, there is. There's one other thing I hesitate to say. Go ahead. She doesn't seem real bright. Okay. Why did you make her that way? God says, so she'd love you better. See, different. Now, only Time magazine could think this is a revelation. Our culture nowadays is intent on basically saying there's no differences between men and women. That's all. We're just socialized into different roles. That's all. Subtle but very powerful gender norming forces. You give a little girl a front end loader, she'll carry it around for 4 years, become a special ops tank commando in Afghanistan. You give a little boy a baby doll, he'll carry it around for 4 years, become a nurturing preschool teacher. 50% of little boys will immediately rip the head off that baby doll and turn it into a machine gun. Men and women are radically different, and this impacts marriage. Women, for example, are simply more naturally verbal than men. They talk earlier, they talk better, they talk longer. That's why if a mom drifts into a discipline trap, it's usually something along these lines. Talk, talk, nag, nag, repeat, repeat, negotiate. Talk, talk, nag, nag, repeat, repeat, negotiate. If a dad drifts into a discipline trap, it's usually something along these lines. Tolerate, tolerate, oblivious, oblivious, ignore, ignore. Oblivious. The first day of kindergarten, I asked my son, Andrew, how was school today, buddy? Okay. Good. So what'd you do? Nothing. Ladies, if you have a very sharing, connecting, communicative male, stuff. What is the name of the lady who stands in front of you for 6.5 hours and talks? I don't think she told anybody that. Joshua says he's got one called Teacher. I'll ask her if they're related. The first day of kindergarten, I asked my daughter, Hannah, how was school today, baby? Well, okay, Daddy, my teacher name is Mrs. Bartley. Mrs. Bartley has 3 children, Jessica, Jason, and Ashley. I know their birthdays, their favorite colors, their middle name, but that was better. We did 12 activities. The pumpkin cutting activity, we started at 8:07. Is that a stupid time or what? She was my best friend until 8:30, then she got mad at me. I don't even know what I did. Jessica told Tiffany I could be her forever friend until tomorrow at 9:30. Now, Mrs. Bartley has this little brown mark right here. Can't tell us there unless she goes over to the window and she bends down like this. If she does, the sun comes through the Venetian blinds off the clock, reflects through her bifocals towards the prison. On the window where the brown block, the left lower quadrant. Daddy, nobody saw it except me. So I figured she needed to know it was there. They both had the same teacher. I do marriage counseling. Sometimes I say to my clients, didn't you used to like each other once? Wasn't there something in your relationship that you liked? The women will come in and know exactly what's wrong. They'll outline it. They'll have notes. They'll have notes. Some of them have videos. Like this. And after they kind of articulately describe what they see is happening in the relationship, I'll turn to the guy. What do you think? I thought everything was fine. Rule number 1 in a good marriage. You better recognize that you are just different people. And you frustrate yourself if you think we should automatically, as easily, be able to communicate on the same level. It's not going to happen. Now, I'm not making excuses for us guys. We're just not as good at it as you ladies are. We're just not, okay? You used to need us. You know that? We used to kill things. We used to cut down trees. We used to shoot guns and keep bad guys away. You don't need us anymore. You're better educated. You can work if you wish. You're much more competent. You're not threatened by the environment around you. You know, our role as what we used to naturally be in the human scheme of things has kind of evaporated. I was in the evangelical world for about 8 years. We were in Bible studies. My wife got several calls in one day from the ladies in the Bible study, generally complaining about their husbands and saying that their husbands just aren't attuned enough, not aware enough, not communicative enough. And my wife hung up the phone with the last one and said, "You know what I think she wants? I think she wants to be married to a woman who can lift heavy things. Open her own jars." Understand this so you don't get as frustrated. Now, we guys, we get frustrated with the ladies because we think sometimes they just go on and on and on and on. And just get to the point. Okay, just get to the point. My wife one time was in the car. I had 5 boys and 5 estrogen Americans. My wife was in the car one time with the girls. She had the big van, and I had my vehicle with the boys. She pulls up next to me at the light and does this. The extent of the conversation in my vehicle occurred about 18 miles down the interstate when from the back seat, one of my sons said, "Oh, gee, Jay, Dad, tell him roll down the window." Rule number 1, understand that you are different at this. Sometimes women will come into the office or call the radio show and they'll be very frustrated because they'll say, I don't know how he thinks about these things. He's kind of quieter about this, and I want to talk. By the way, that is the kiss of death. You know, you want to say that to your spouse. Can we talk? Because basically when we say, can we talk, it's never, because I just want to tell you everything I love about you. Guys, you know what I've been hearing from the women? I've been hearing from more and more women that they are the authorities in their home. They set the rules, they set the structure, they do the majority of the discipline, and Disney Dad over here, Mr. Good Time, Mr. Easy Going, laid back, not noticing nothing, Mr. Honey, I was that way when I was a kid. I think I turned out pretty good. And the women are thinking, let's gather the relatives and vote. More and more women are telling me they're doing the lioness' share of the discipline and the authority in that house. And we guys, who's in us along for the ride? Do what your mother says. Do what your mother says. I do what your mother says. Everybody does what your mother says. What do you think I for this long? Gentlemen, I'm going to give you a soundbite that I believe will do more to enhance your marriage, because you all got good marriages in here, okay? I'm not talking people that have dysfunctional marriages. This would really, really make a difference if this is your case. Protect that woman. You would never let another human being talk to your wife the way that child sometimes talks to your wife on a regular basis, or treats your wife. Next time you hear her locked into a verbal battle with a kid, don't sit in the Barca-lounger in the other room thinking to yourself, close my eyes. I can't tell which one of them's a 10-year-old. Get in there. It's not just your mom you're talking to that way, that's my wife. You go to your room. I'm going to see what she wants me to do about this. You can't protect without written permission. And then I'm going to do more. I'll tell you what, guys, when that woman feels like you got her back, that you're not just beside her like that, she will feel very affectionate toward you. Sometimes I give my boys a couple bucks. Go down and give your mother grief, I'll be right down. Worked pretty good till she found out I was only giving them a couple bucks, and she got upset. I said, well, honey, you're getting a little older. I know how to communicate. Protect her. And if you want to take it a step further, if you're a dad who does protect her, then here, take the hit for her. Here's how it works. Most of the time, and this is true in my house, probably true in yours, the moms kind of run things. They're the one who set up the structure. You can go here, you can't go there because this will affect the family structure for today, etc., etc. We guys sort of kind of looking in. And the kids argue with her. Women, tell the kids when they start to argue with you about some ruling or condition you've just set up. Talk to your father. This was his idea. Now, men, whether it was or whether it wasn't is irrelevant. You're going to go when they come to you, Mom said, and you're the one who said I couldn't go. She did. When? No, Ryan, don't do that. That's right. It is my idea. And what's your problem? Don't let her get locked in the middle of that mess. Take the hit for her. Protect her that way. Most of you have children under 5. I was noticing that, right? Pretty much everybody has. So really, this is kind of pathetic, but this right here is sort of one of your high spots of your life. The children are not here. Some of you are pregnant. Little discipline suggestion. Start disciplining now. Seriously, tell them, go to your womb. Kick at me, young man. Little kids, you try to teach them manners, right? Because manners make you look very good out in public. They truly do, and that's why everybody gives you compliments on your kids, because they just go, thank you. And the waitress goes, here, another cookie. So you're out in public, somebody hands his child a cookie. Child doesn't say anything. Child starts to eat the cookie. What are you saying? She looks at you like this is the first time in your life you've ever brought this concept up. What's the magic word? Being a veteran parent, you're not in great pain. You take these nails. You reach for some fleshy body part. You start to dig. Ow! Hurting me! In a fit of parental result, take what's left of the cookie. Hand it back to the person who gave it to her, telling them, thank you. But she knows she needs to say thank you. She can't keep it. That's our rule. So whatever she says now, it's way too late. Why do you go through this trouble? Because you know how important manners are. They don't just speak of etiquette, a good cultural way to interact. No, they give dignity. They give value. I think enough of you to speak well to you. Okay, how good are your manners to your spouse? Some of you may have science backgrounds in here, and you know the law of entropy. The law of entropy basically says everything decays. It's headed for decay. The universe is headed for heat death. I think there's a law of social entropy that affects marriages. You get sloppy. Hey, give me a cup of coffee, would you? No, I said nice. I said, would you? I didn't say please. When I got the coffee, sometimes I say thank you, sometimes I don't. I get sloppy, I get lazy. Why do you put so daggone much effort into teaching that little 4-year-old manners so that when they get to a point when they're 7, they got better manners than we do? Especially with our spouses. Use manners. Please, thank you, excuse me, I'm sorry. Just little simple stuff. Small step. Clients will come in my office. I'll ask them, when was the last time anybody apologized? Well, I can remember exactly. It was my daughter was in kindergarten. What's your daughter doing now? Oh, she's doing her. Well, it was our wedding rehearsal dinner. I remember I spilled coffee in her lap. I said, hey, sorry about that. Sorry is about as much a part of their marriage as a tax audit. Why don't we say sorry? I will tell you this, there are many, many reasons, and I talk about this in the marriage book. I don't have the marriage book here. It's on back order. There is one copy out there with Claire. She's got it. I do want to say this too. Even though I brought the books, she brought some books too. You buy hers first. Okay, she's only got a few. She'll run out, and then we'll sell the rest of these things. She only's got a couple titles, but go there first. Give them for her first, okay? Because I'll just gouge Pilar. I just raised my fee $500. In the book, I say, what are the reasons people don't say sorry? I'm always the one who apologizes. Always. She never apologizes. It's always me. That's one reason. Another reason. I wasn't totally wrong on this one. Okay, you go out and take a poll of 100 people, but 82 of them are going to say, I only had 12% role in this thing. She's got the other 88. That's one. It's going to be thrown back in my face. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, where's Vince? Vince in here? Hey, Vince, you went to confession, right? With me?
Yeah.
Vince was not very nice about this because he insisted, and I can't gauge the motive on this one, but he insisted that I go first because it's kind of like one of those, you let the wretched one go in first, and then whatever Vince tells the priest don't sound that bad. And Vince was levitating right out there while I was kind of saying my confession. Vince, what if Father would have said, Vince, how long have you been committing these sins? Pretty much most of my life. Vince, don't say you're sorry, okay? Don't tell me you're sorry. If you're not going to change your conduct, then it's just words, Vince, okay? It's just words. That's the big one. You throw that back in somebody's face, oh, you're sorry? Then why don't you change? Okay? Sorry doesn't make everything right. Just can't go, I'm sorry. By the way, I always wanted to go to confession like the politicians. Bless me, Father. Mistakes were made. And I'd like to apologize if God misunderstood my behavior, took it out of context, and became offended by it. Sorry for his sensitivity. A lot of reasons I don't say I'm sorry. Here's my tip. Apologize for your percentage. And I will tell you as a shrink, we all underestimate our percentage. Most of the time, we're more wrong than we think. Yes, okay. I would not have cussed like that had she not dogged me for 22 minutes. Yes, I'll admit it. I finally got mad, and I cussed. Okay, apologize for the cussing. Well, yeah, wait a minute. What about her 22 minutes? That's between her and God. Now, when you get frustrated at your spouse, hold on a second, it's getting warm. When you get frustrated at your spouse, think. Because here's the thing. If during one of these talks I get heat stroke, this is all going to be mine. Now, you'll be able to have your summer get together next year, but not at this price. You know what you're paying now. You're apologizing for your part. Now, when you say that someone doesn't apologize in your marriage, they always think they're right. They're always right. You can extrapolate this to relatives. We all have relatives like this, okay? You know one thing. The less a person apologizes, the more insecure they are. It's that simple of a relationship. If I can't say I'm sorry, if I can't acknowledge a role in something, it's not because I'm cocky and arrogant and because I think I'm never wrong. It's because I'm weak. I can't acknowledge it. Okay? And that'll keep your frustration down. Parents will sometimes say to me, my daughter and I, we just butt heads. Okay, we just butt heads. She's difficult. But I must be doing something right because everybody else loves her. They think she's a great kid. I mean, they're always calling her for babysitting. Pilar called her because she wanted to be a counselor. The people at church adore her. Okay, wives, got a little scenario for you. You're out in public somewhere. Some lady comes up to you. You don't know me, but I work with your husband. And I got to tell you, he is the sweetest, the kindest, the most positive person in our office. The ladies love him. He's always complimenting him. Never a negative word, never a scold. You must just love living with him. Now, if he's that way with you, you'd say, yeah, I do. I got a gem. If he's not, you aren't going to say, well, I feel good that he treats other women good. Yeah, that makes me feel good. I must be doing something right as a wife. So, here's the question. And I don't want to use this word. This is a stinky word. I was going to say, who are you nicest to? I don't like that. That's a cheap word. Who are you kindest to? Of all the people in your life, would your wife or husband say, my spouse treats me better than he treats anybody else? Keep in mind, there's another simple psychological rule here. If I'm nicer to you folks, if I'm nicer to Pilar, in the short period of time that we meet, now granted, there's not going to be any conflict because we don't go on all the things that would cause conflict. Nevertheless, if I am much kinder to Pilar, much sweeter to Pilar, much more conscientious about my manners with Pilar, and my wife's sitting right there thinking, I'll tell you, I wish Ray would be that agreeable with me. I wish he'd be that nice with me. I got something wrong. I'm doing something wrong. My wife has got to say, and I don't know if she does or not, she's got to say, yes, Ray does that to me too. So that's what I'm challenging you for. You don't want to say you are nicer and kinder and sweeter and more positive and more gentle and more giving and more forgiving with everybody else but your spouse. And you don't have to be mean. You can just be lazy. Just be sloppy. Easy way to do it. There's a statistic I saw once, and again, you can't really put a whole lot of stock in this because, 57.23% of statistics are made up on the spot. But a person I trust essentially said that about 80% of the marriages that fail not because of pathology. All right? There isn't serious mental, alcohol-ridden, gambling, abusive type stuff. It's I've just grown not to get along with you. I just don't really like you anymore. You know, you're not exciting, you're boring. We drift. We do this. Part of that is because these tiny little things in a marriage take enormous proportion. We personalize them. You know, for 22 years, I have simply been asking him, put his pants over there. Just take them. What does it take? If he can't even do this, what does that say about how he loves me, huh? We do this. This is a sign. Because of the fact that, I've asked for a call. Call if you're going to be late. Just call if you're going to be late. He hasn't called in 14 years. But he's real agreeable. Yeah, you're right, honey. That's exactly right. I'll call if I'm going to be late. What does that say about his love? Huh? We personalize it. I'm kind of a neat-nick, and my wife is less of a neat-nick. When we first got married, I kind of always want things in a certain place or something. And one of the things that she did was that she left cupboard doors open. They would just be open. If she went in them, that was it. First couple of years, I said, honey, can you shut those? Oh, yeah, we'll shut them. She'd go over and she'd shut them. And then, an hour later, she'd go in here and they'd all be open. Now, I thought of several options. I was going to take all the doors off. So, what happened was, I decided, well, maybe I'm just going to shut it. Okay, no, that's kind of me, a sweet husband. I was going to shut it. But I shut them loud enough to let her hear it and the neighbor lady hear it. Bang! Bang! Now, needless to say, that didn't work too well. And one day, I was bending down to get something, and I raised my head. Under the cupboard corner right there, man. Now, guys, when we get hurt, we generally don't curl up into a ball. We get hot, right? Then I started doing what I do with my kids. You know, I get this theory that parents have a higher percentage of TMJ than normal people because we stifle our cussing. So, my coup de grace in handling this niggling little problem there, which was real stupid on my part. I went into the kitchen, maybe 6 or 7 of the cupboards were open. I opened the rest. My wife came down, I thought, okay, she's gonna come down, she's gonna go. She went and got a drink and she sat down. Honey, you notice anything? Your flies down? No, anything else, baby? No? Cupboards? Yeah, where's the glasses? We have more glasses. My wife is far and beyond anything I deserve as a wife. Far. And that was way back in the early days of our marriage, and that was just flat out stupid. You look at these little tiny things that mean nothing. And you look at that person that's your spouse, and you say, oh yeah, that's a good person, that's a beautiful person, good dad, good wife, good mother, faithful Christian person, absolutely. And what are you getting so ticked off for about this little crappy thing? Do it yourself. So I just shut the cupboards myself, that's all, so what? That's the way it is, big deal. But, okay, I'll let her get away with that flaw. She better not have any others. It's my fault. It's my fault. I should have known. My mother warned me and I didn't listen. She said, never marry the woman who comes out with a cake at your bachelor party. So, I have a technique that will probably change your spouse better than any other single technique. This technique is as effective as any I have ever seen. I will preface it with this. There was a survey done where they took couples and they said, I want you to go into that room and I want you to write down the things about your spouse that you'd like to see changed. Went into the room, day went by, 2 days went by, I had to go get him. Are you done yet? The lists were this long. Then they said, I want you to go into that room and write down the things about you that you think need changed. Went into the room, about a minute later, come back out. I'm done. Now, we don't really see ourselves as we are. We truly do not see ourselves as we are. I'll tell you that as a shrink of 35 years of shrinking. I used to be 6'9". We do not see ourselves as we are. And we want our spouse to change. We're going to grab them by the throat. Cut it out! Change! Do this different! Be more religious! Be more faithful! Look at me! I pray a rosary on my knees, on broken glass, while I levitate, and you're there. You sit there on the couch and you fall asleep. Church in the middle of farm country, middle of the service, this hideous sulfur-smelling creature comes down, jumps right in the middle. People started screaming, yelling, heading for the exits, except one old farmer. He's in the front pew. Imperturbed. You know who I am? Yep, got a good idea. You know what I can do? Yeah. But you're afraid. Why? Been living with your sister for 4 years. Now, the message here. Unless you're living with Satan or his sister. Change you. And that person will change. May not change at the level you want or as fast as you want, but that is the best way to change the other person by far. I don't see children in my office. It's a waste of time. I see the parents. Change the parents. The children will change. This idea of individual therapy for children is nonsense, and even the research says that. I love it when parents come in and say, my 14-year-old needs counseling. And I'll say, sure, yeah, I'll see your 14-year-old, and I'll let her sit there and trash you for an hour, and I'll try to convince her that you're not evil like she thinks you are, and then I'll charge you $80, and we'll just keep doing this. Change here. It's the only chance you have to change your spouse. It really is the only chance. More I'm sorry's, more manners, much nicer, more compliments, gentler, easier to get along with. Some of you, and I don't think that's true here, but this is a common complaint I get in marriages. One spouse is very faithful, the other is not. There's a gap, huge gap. And one spouse is very frustrated. Come on, the boys are starting to say, why doesn't Dad go to church? I'll say, the only chance you really have to get him or her to look at the faith the way you look at it is they got to see that that faith is making you sweeter to live with, easier to live with, kinder to live with, more forgiving to live with. Because if it's not, you don't got a chance. All right? I don't care how many rosaries he sees you praying, and I don't care how many radio buttons you got tuned into Catholic radio when you get in the car. You know, he's got sports on and you go and click it to Catholic radio. You get excited, it's going to suck into his brain there and you're making him whole. That's the best way to change you. Now, Pilar, I can go on and on here. There's probably, you know what I noticed? I was mentioning, this happened yesterday when we went up to 412 there to get snacks and everything. This ain't really, what do we call this, the family summer? This is the family summer cruise. We eat like every 12 minutes here. I started noticing this.
Yes, we have the luncheon buffet starting in 12 minutes, and then after that we have nap time, which will be serving.
Noticing this. I do nothing but eat.
Just coffee now.
Just coffee.
We're gonna hike it all off.
Tell you what, the way we've been eating, man, you guys are going to have to go up and down them mountains a couple times. Do you want me to just take a couple questions before I hand it over?
That would be great.
Okay. A couple questions. Ma'am?
I'm curious to know about your experience with marriage counseling when the wife says, how come men don't take care of themselves physically when it comes to getting sick? Like, I know women tend to run for the Tylenol, for example, and with guys it tends to be like a week later. Would you guys? So can you help me understand a little bit of that difference
Sure.
in terms of why men think
I
differently
think I can give you the
than
best explanation. Wiring. There is something about the way guys are wired. They are generally higher risk takers. Okay, so that when you're sick and you don't check it, it's a risk. You're taking a risk. They are less likely to share it. I've had friends who died of cancer. Why? Because they let it go on for 6 months without telling anybody. Okay, so yes, I see that. I have a son, he's 27 years old. His birth mom gave him Hep C. There is a cure for Hep C out now. It's a miraculous cure, okay? It's 98% effective. So this son has been cured of Hep C as of 3 months ago. Is this a victory or is this a victory? No. No, it's not. Because he won't stop drinking. Idiot. Idiot. Does he want to go anywhere and do anything about it? No. No. Girlfriend's telling him, John, what are you doing? John, stop, John. I'm okay, I'm invulnerable. There's just something in the male makeup. We don't do this. The women will say, okay, how do I drag him to get his blood pressure checked? How do I even get him to get a physical, okay? I say things like, you got 6 kids, okay? You gotta be here. Do it for the kids. We do it, we pull everything out of our bag of tricks that we can to get them to do it. And still they drag their feet. I'll throw another interpretation at you. I think women could be a little tougher. Women seem to be able to, even though all the research says they can't tolerate pain like men can, and physiologically they're not as strong as men, but there's something about their emotional makeup that they're able to face that where we guys are like, I don't know, it doesn't exist. You know, if I don't know my blood pressure is 152/98, that doesn't exist. I think there's a little bit of that. It definitely is. I even see it with myself. Okay, I put off a problem for about a year. And when I went in, I got finally checked up and I drove home and I told my wife, I said, honey, got good news, bad news. Good news is, found the source of the problem. Bad news, it's cancer. Fortunately, it was confined and it was early, so I think we took care of it. But I putzed around with this for a year with this thing, thinking, I don't know, it's not that big a deal, kind of thing. Take this. You ask a very frustrating question for a lot of women. Another one? Yes, sir?
What is a good way to communicate a thought when there is a habitual issue with them? For example, my wife, we went to Denver yesterday, we rented a 15-passenger van. And that thing is big.
I know.
And my wife loves to drive. And usually I say, no, it's big van, I'll drive. So we put on Google's map, and we get here 20 minutes before Google's map says that. My wife was driving, and
You were in the back seat and you
no, I
had to
was
watch
on the
yourself.
other side. I was supposed to take a nap. So this 15-passenger van was on the left lane like 98% of the time. We overtook Mercedes, BMW, 18-wheeler.
In that winding mountain roads.
Exactly.
No guardrails.
I was like, honey, this is a big van. The speed limit is 65.
That baby's swaying in the wind, you know, you go see those signs that say high wind area.
So the thing is, this is not the first time.
Is your wife in here?
No, she's not here. I said, I do trust you, but this is safety thing. So what should I do?
Okay. There's 2 levels to his question. One is stupidity.
Can you tell my wife?
His wife is doing what we say we do. She says, you don't trust me. It has nothing to do with trust. You see what we do? We personalize. Personalizing is one of the biggest damagers of a marriage. You want me to do or not do this because you think less of me. Okay? And he's trying to say, no, that's not it. I don't think less of you. At some point, I don't know the strength of your marriage, but at some point, you could say, you know what, sweetheart, on certain types of roads, you are a good driver, but you push it a little too hard, I'm going to drive. And that's it. Now, is she not going to talk to you for 5 days? Is she basically going to say, well, that's it, you sleep by yourself? I don't know. But sometimes, in a good marriage, my wife will stop me from doing things. She'll say, Ray, you can't do that. In a good marriage, you trust the person looking out for your well-being. You don't personalize it. My wife homeschooled. She homeschooled all 10. Which was really an amazing feat because she really got lost after about 4th grade. I told her, I said, honey, stay 1 week ahead in the answer book. That's all. I said no. The first 2 kids went to 2nd grade. I said no. At that time, I was a consultant with school districts. And for a lot of reasons, I had this fantasy about, school plays and Christmas get-togethers and all that neat stuff. And she wanted to homeschool desperately. I said no. And she went with that. And there's been other things where she's told me no. Okay, like the 5th piece of pie. There is no way to reason your wife out of this. I think the only thing you can do is say, sweetheart, given certain circumstances with this big van, I'm going to do it. I don't know what kind of fallout you're going to get. Okay? He's like, but she is definitely personalizing it. He brings up a good point. I will ask my clients, I'll say, well, why does your wife think that? I don't know. How long have you been married? 27 years. You don't know why she thinks that you don't stick up for her when she has a friction with your mother? You don't know why? No. Did you ever ask her? Once. I'm a shrink. People walk into my office and say the most rot gut, idiotic, stupid stuff. What do I have to do? I have to do this. So then, what would happen then? Okay, so you can see that, did she get angry at you? Is that what you wanted? I have to act like, oh, how interesting. How fabulous. Now, if I were to start out immediately and say to them, what are you, some kind of idiot? They're gone. They're out of my office, okay? That's what I say in a good marriage. You ask the question, do you know why your wife thinks the way she does about this? Now, that requires 2 things. 1, you got to shut your mouth and let her explain, or husband, let him explain. And 2, you got to ask a whole bunch of questions. Honey, do you think that I'm just saying you're a bad driver? Is that what you think? Am I saying that you don't care about our kids? Is that it? Because you're driving like this? What do you think I'm saying about this? And then she said, well, I'll tell you what I think you're saying. You think I'm incompetent. You think I can't do it. If I told you that's not it, would you believe me? You're getting inside your head, kind of like I have to do as a shrink. I gotta get inside your head. Get inside your spouse's head. Shut your mouth for 1 minute, just to let him say it. Don't be thinking about what you're going to say next to debate him. The old, yeah, well, you too. Now, do I practice all this stuff? No. But it makes good material for talk. My wife and I, when we were adopting the kids, my 10 kids are adopted, when we were adopting the kids, we knew there was going to be no breakup in our marriage. No matter what, there was going to be no breakup. Because we had 10 nuclear warheads aimed at each other. You leave me? You get custody. Don't even think to leave me because I'll sue you so you get custody. All of our children are gone now. And my wife and I, next week, will be getting into a parent protection program. Where they will change our identities when we're in Montana. The kids can still find us, but it'll take a couple weeks. All right, I want to close. Let me just tell you what the books are about. And as I said, the young lady, I think she has 3 of these disciplines. She has 1 marriage book, and she has some advice worth ignoring. Let me tell you what these are about. This was a series I did for EWTN. What do Catholics really believe? Jesus, Bible, Scripture, tradition, Eucharist, baptism, morality, confession, Mary, Peter, Purgatory, purgatory. Why do you Catholics do this? I left for 8 years. I was in the evangelical world. Okay, I just went after this priest, and he explained it. I got it on DVD. Advice worth ignoring. 50 of the most common expert pieces of advice that really take away your authority and your confidence. Just trash them, especially faithful people. And I debunk them and give alternatives. Most popular book, Discipline Lasts a Lifetime, 100 of the most common discipline questions I get asked ages 2 to 18. Good discipline, great teens, 11 on up, most common discipline questions. Fighting Mad, Conquering Your Emotions, Irritation, Agitations for adults. When faith causes family friction, when you get in trouble for being faithful Catholic, with your family, with your friends, with your kids, with your boss, with your colleagues, okay? A couple of adoption books. Most common questions I get both before and after adoption. And then I got some, everything's on CD, got some of those. I don't have everything here. My website's drray.com. A lot of this stuff I put on Facebook. I just kind of keep producing videos for Facebook. Let me close with a kind of a touching marriage story, I think. I mean, it's a true story. My uncle Giuseppe was at a marriage conference, married 48 years. The priest said, Giuseppe, you tell these young men how to make a marriage last 48 years? Well, you've got to be nice. You've got to do special things. For our 25th anniversary, I take her to Italy. The priest said, Giuseppe, that's beautiful. Now, 2 more years, you got 50. What are you going to do then? For my 50, I'm going to go get her and bring her back. I'll see you in a little bit.